You know, sometimes life changes in just one smile. I never thought one simple hello by the sea would change everything about my life. I never thought it would give me love so bright that it lit up my mornings and take me through nights darker than the deepest storm. My name is Emily, and this is the story of how the sea gave me love and how the sea took it away. So, if you're listening right now, stay with me. Because this story isn't just about love, it's about waiting, about almost losing hope, about finding strength again when you think you have none left. And maybe, just maybe, it will remind you that even broken hearts can still be strong. Pause. As if looking at the sea, I live in a small house near the water. My town is quiet, tucked away from the noise of the world. People here know each other. They smile when you pass by, they help you when your basket is too heavy, and they leave fresh flowers on your porch if they think you need a little light. My little world was simple. Every morning, I woke before the sun and walked down to the bakery. I worked there since I was young. The smell of fresh bread rising, sugar dusted on warm cakes, trays of cookies golden from the oven, that was my life. Sweet, warm, and filled with a kind of gentle love that doesn't shout but whispers. And every day, after the work was done, I would step outside and breathe in the sea. The waves rolled in steady and calm, almost like the heartbeat of the earth. The sky stretched wide, blue and endless. Sometimes I would take a small cup of tea and sit on the sand, just me and the sound of water. It was my way of listening to the world. But one morning, that quiet, ordinary moment changed. I remember it clearly. The wind was soft, brushing my hair across my face. I lifted my cup, breathed in the steam, and then I felt eyes on me. When I looked up, a young man was walking by the shore. He had that look people get when they're searching for something, half lost, half alive. And then he smiled at me. Double quotes, hello, he said. Just one word. But it was enough. I smiled back, a little shy. Hi. He stepped closer, but not too close, and said, my name is Liam. Do you live here? Yes, I said, setting down my cup. I'm Emily. My house is just up the road. He nodded, sat on the sand a little distance away, and for a while we just talked. About nothing big, nothing special. He told me he was new in town. A fisherman. His boat was small, but he said when he was on the water, it felt like freedom. I love the sea too, I told him, and then we both grew quiet, looking out at the waves. The silence wasn't heavy, it was gentle, like the sea itself was speaking for us. From that day on, Liam came back. Sometimes he brought coffee. Sometimes I carried cookies from the bakery. We traded little pieces of our lives with each other, our favorite songs, stories about childhood, dreams we had never spoken out loud. I loved his laugh. It wasn't loud, but it had this softness that made me feel safe. One morning, he looked at me differently. His eyes lingered. I look forward to seeing you every morning, he said. My heart skipped, and I whispered back, me too. Days turned into weeks. We walked by the sea in the evenings, his hand brushing against mine but never holding, not yet. He told me about the stars, how sailors use them to find their way. I told him about the bakery, how I learned to braid bread when I was little. Everything felt simple, easy. And then one evening, as the sky turned orange and pink, we sat close. I could feel his warmth next to me. Emily, he said, voice low, I want to tell you something. I looked into his eyes, serious and full of something I couldn't name. I think I'm falling in love with you. My heart pounded so loudly I thought he might hear it. I smiled, trembling, and said, I think I feel the same. He took my hand then, finally, and we sat together, no words, just the sea before us. And I thought, this is it. This is the moment I will remember forever. But life is not always simple. One morning I saw him standing by the docks, his brow furrowed. What's wrong? I asked. There's a storm coming, he said. I need to bring my boat in before it hits. My chest tightened. Be careful. The sea can be dangerous. He smiled, kissed my forehead. I'll be okay. I've done this before. And that was the last time I saw him. The storm came fast. The sky turned black, the waves slammed against the shore, the wind howled like something alive. I stood by the window, searching for his boat, waiting for him to walk back, soaked but safe. But he didn't single quotes teed out the next day, whispers filled the docks. A small boat hadn't returned. Do you know the name? I asked, my voice shaking. Yes, someone said. It was Liam's. I ran to the sea, heart breaking with every step. But there was nothing. Only waves calm now, too calm. Days passed. The police found pieces of wood from his boat, splintered and wet. But not Liam. Never Liam. I stopped baking. I stopped eating. I stopped smiling. My world turned gray. At night, I cried until I had no tears left. And when I dreamed, I saw him. Walking toward me on the sand, smiling, telling me it was okay. But when I woke, the bed was empty, and my heart broke again. One evening I dragged myself to the shore. I sat in our spot and whispered, I miss you. Why did you go? The sea gave no answer. Only wind through my hair, waves that didn't care about broken hearts. But then, the sea gave me something unexpected. One morning, near our place on the sand, I found a notebook. Damp on the edges, but still whole. My hands shook as I opened it. It was Liam's handwriting. The first page said, if something happens to me, don't be sad. Look at the sea and smile. I was doing what I loved. I pressed the book to my chest, tears streaming. He had known the risks. And yet he smiled every day. I read every page. Small sketches of boats, silly little poems, notes about the stars. And on the last page, dear Emily, if I had more time, I would have said this. Thank you for the mornings, the talks, the smiles. You made my life full of light. I love you, I sobbed, but for the first time I also smiled. He had left me something. His words. His love. And so I decided I couldn't just sit in sorrow. I had to build something. For him. For me. With Mrs. Rose, the bakery owner, I found a small cabin by the sea. Old, wooden but strong. I painted it soft blue, added white chairs, flowers on the tables. In one corner, I placed Liam's notebook, on a shelf where anyone could read it. I called it the quiet shore. When I opened the doors, the sky was golden. People came alone, with friends, with family. They ate, they smiled, they looked at the waves. And slowly, so slowly, my heart began to heal. Then one morning, a man walked in. Salt in his hair, wind on his face. Good morning, he said. Good morning, I replied. He came again the next day. And the next. His name was Noah, quiet, kind. He loved books about the sea. He fixed little things around the cafe. He never asked about my past, and I never asked about his. We just talked. Simple, slow, kind. One rainy day the cafe was empty. He stayed and washed dishes with me. When I thanked him, he said, this place feels like home, and for the first time in so long, I felt peace. Love is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, gentle, like waves that come and go. Every morning I still sit by the shore with a cup of tea. I whisper, good morning, Liam, but I also smile. Because love doesn't end. It changes. It grows. It teaches us how to heal. The sea is still here. And so am I. And the waves. The waves still come.